Hello chess friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So in this video we're going to cover a beautiful game by Alexander Alekhine, the 4th world chess champion. And I'd like to draw your attention to the quote above, which was by Fischer himself. If you have seen one Alekhine game, you have seen them all. What does that mean? Basically, there was something very typical about his style, and it is said that his sacrifices came out of nowhere. They were like bolt out of the blue. So they were beautiful sacrifices, and they were very sudden, very much like Tal, but he has a very unique way of playing. Of course, in this game, we are going to also look at the build up of how he reached there. He also had a very good position understanding. Without position understanding, you can't have tactics. Tactics flow from superior positions, as Fischer said it once. So let's go through this beautiful game, and I'll pause exactly at the moment where there is this thunderbolt, as we say. So pawn to e4, played by Alexander Alekhine. Black plays d5. Now black was kind of an amateur play. This was a simultaneous exhibition, so you do not expect theoretical moves from black. And also this was a very early time for theory. It was just developing. So knight to f3, knight c6. You can see that black is not really accustomed to the theory of chess. Pawn to c4, queen's gambit, e6, knight to c3, d4. So we have a very interesting setup. Having not moved this pawn on the c pawn basically means that black will not enjoy the typical counter play, which he generally does in the queen's gambit positions in the queen's pawn opening, because this pawn is actually a source of major counterplay. You get it to c5, then you have the extra option of capturing on d4, sometimes giving white the IQP. Apart from this, if you don't have this break, you will probably try to get the e pawn break. If you don't have anything, you are in trouble, and that's exactly what happened here. Alekhine very calmly played e3, knight f6, bishop takes c4, bishop to b4, castles, and again bishop takes c3. What was the reason of this move? Was it necessary to make this move? Absolutely not. This is a beginner's move. There's no need to capture the knight immediately or at all, basically. So pawn takes. This just improves white's setup again. It's black is an amateur. We are looking at this beautiful game for the sake of its beauty and the combination that it will teach us. So castles, queen c2, excellent move. The queen is brought to the most active diagonal on the board. Now comes knight e7. Let's pause here. Let's evaluate the position. What is exactly happening? Okay, bishop a3 played by Alexander, and now let's pause. White has completed his development. He has this raging bishops over here, and this one is specifically dangerous. As soon as this diagonal opens up, he is going to become a monster. Well, he has completed his development. He has connected his rooks. He's in a great position. In fact, because of the weakness of the last move, he has absolutely, black has no control over the center. His position is cramped. His knights are stepping on each other's too. I'm not sure where the knights are heading. I'm not sure how he's going to solve the problem of the bad bishop. And in fact, white has a very clear strategic aim. He'd like to get his pawn to e5, move his knight, or maybe get his pawn to e4, move his knight, and arrange the pawn break f4, f5. In that case, you will typically open up this bishop's diagonal, the a2 to g8 diagonal, which is super important, super critical in such kind of positions. Whenever there is a pawn on e6, pawn on f7, these pawns are actually targets, so you have to pay attention to that. So let us see who achieves the objective goals quickly. Pawn to c6, again a move that I don't really like. It gives me a very bad feeling about black's position. There are holes on this square, tremendous weaknesses. So e4, white's objective is to advance his kingside pawns and start a strong attack. Pawn to h6. Again, I don't really see the point, but I can't tell you if there is a better move. Maybe it is better to play this and this, and I don't know what next. Black's position is not pleasant. Rook d1, very calm move, maybe indicating towards a future pawn break in the center with pawn to d5. Bishop to d7. Now comes knight e5. This is an excellent move. This basically shows the understanding of Alexander. Now he can directly push pawn to e5, gaining space advantage, and that's what most people would do. Unfortunately, the problem with this move is you are giving up, you're surrendering the d5 square, which is very important for black. He has the two knights, you have the two bishops, you want to open up the position. Black, on the other hand, would like to close the positions. This is in fact playing in the hands of black. Although black would still lose because he's an amateur and Alexander was world champion, fourth world champion. So obviously he'll still lose this position. But in general, you don't want to allow such play for no reason. There's no reason to allow such active and good solid position for black. He has the knights, he'd like to keep the position closed. You like to open the position, you like to burst it open. So knight e5. Understanding the position, Alexander played a nice move. And you can see, let's pause over here, let's understand the position. Um, Black's position is cramped. This bishop is a tall pawn. I don't see how he can come out. You can't really arrange c5. You can't really move this knight without losing this rook. And the moment you move the rook, there are new weaknesses, new targets that are created in the position, as we'll see. And I don't see any of black's objective being fulfilled. On the other hand, white's objective here is quite clear. His strategic aim is quite clear. He wants to arrange f4, f5, extending the scope of this powerful bishop. I'll make it red. That looks quite nice. That's a powerful bishop. You want to extend the scope of it, and then there are all kind of tactics. This position is just tremendous. Rook to e8. As I've told you, this is one of the only ways of unraveling black's position. Getting the knight to move. But there's a problem to this, and the problem is the weakness of the last move. As soon as the rook moves, there is a new weakness that has been created, a soft spot, and that is the f7 square. Now I want you to pay attention to the square because there are three pieces which are indirectly x-raying the pawn. First is the bishop. Second is the knight, knight is directly attacking, but the bishop is indirectly attacking. And there's one more piece, and that's the rook on f1, who is also x-raying this one target, one pawn on f7. So that's our target. Can we reach it? Let's see. On to f4. We need to see some. Black is trying his best in a hopeless position, but now we have pawn to f5. This is exactly what we wanted, and everything that we wanted has been achieved. You can't really capture that because of bishop f7. You're going to lose material, lots of material. Let's go back. He plays rook d8. Now this is the move that a beginner would play, and in general there's nothing wrong with this move. I mean, as beginners we are told keep centralize your pieces, and that's exactly what black has done. He's got both of his rooks centralized. He's got his queen here, knights near the center. What can go wrong with this? The problem is this is too generalized play against a world champion. So let's go forward. Knight takes on f7. Obviously the position was screaming for this. Okay, so this is too simple. I would pause the video here. So let's go forward. Takes, and this is where Alexander really starts to take control over the position. His next move is quite nice. Pawn to e5. He can obviously capture here, but then bishop takes comes, and obviously even that position is good, but he wants to make the most out of it, and that's why he plays e5. Basically, you're threatening the knight. If the knight moves, in the game, knight e to g8 happened, but let me just show you what happens if the knight moves. Let's say this natural looking move. The problem is, now this is a double check, and unless you want to lose the rook, unless you want to lose the bishop, you really want to capture back with the king. Otherwise, you lose the piece. And here a simple move like queen 4, queen g4, and something like this basically should be good enough to win material. Look at this. Look at this. That's crazy. This is an attack. Obviously, rook is going to shift over here. Knight hangs. It's already a resignable position. So of course, this did not happen. And after the pawn moved to e5, black rather decided, okay, let me just get this knight on the g8 square. So I'll at least replace this knight. But now bishop to d6 again. Alexander is showing restraint, he's showing power, he's showing that he can always capture this knight. He doesn't have to worry about it. In case this knight ever moves, wherever you can go, f takes e6 is tremendously powerful. So he's not really worried about this knight going away. He knows that this knight is basically ours. We can just increase our positional dominance over the position. So powerful move. This is a sign of dominance. Queen c8, and again, not even thinking of capturing the knight, just queen 2, showing power. The queen shuffles and swings in the action to the square, maybe some other squares, we'll see. Or maybe to the f file with this or this. There can be some strong ideas. Now comes b5. Again, we can capture this, but no. Alexander calmly played bishop to b3, asking black, what do you have in this position? Pawn to a5, rook d2 e1, again a very calm move, bringing the rook to a more useful file where it can actually threaten some serious threats. a4, and this is where I'm going to pause the video. Let me just show you this position. I'm going to take you to this one. Yeah, your task is to find the crushing thunderbolt in this position. White to play, find the best move. Alright, so hopefully we got the crushing move of the day, and of course, this guy was the thunderbolt. He used to, his attack used to come out of nowhere, you know. So Queen h5, and this is exactly what Fischer meant with his quote, that if you study one game of Alexander, you know his style, you know how he plays, you know what's going to happen. This kind of moves, this kind of smashing moves are always expected from this great player. Well, what can be done? There are only two moves. You can play g6. If you want to lose quickly, that's definitely preferable. Better to lose quickly than what is going to happen. Because knight takes h5. Now this is beautiful. The knight has moved out of the f file, which means we can capture on e6. That's a double check. Pardon me for that. Yeah, there you go. That's a double check. In case of a double check, you have no other option than to run wildly, and that's why you run. Now comes bishop c2. Powerful move. King g5. Rook f5. The attack never stops. King g6. He's trying to go back. He's trying to go to h7. Maybe put his king to h8. He's expecting some sort of a safety. But of course, you have rook f6. Double check again. There is a check. And there is that bishop. That bishop is so cool. King g5. Rook g6. Forcing him to come forward. Now, well, he can't go here. It's pretty simple now. Just looking forward to the king. Well, why can you go here? You could, but then there's another problem. Rook e4 check. Knight has to be given up. In fact, there's nothing else that can be done. These guys are just spectators. They are watching the king hunt from afar. They are enjoying the way Alexander is playing and smashing black. X goes over here, and here's a very cool move that it's a beautiful finishing touch. I'll just show you. On to g3, and this is where black resigned the game. This is such a powerful move. You're just supporting the h4 square, and the rook is going to go here, and black has a full move to defend against this. There's still nothing he can do. You know, look at the bishops. Although this was an amateur player, the beauty of this game is so awesome that I thought this is something worth looking. So yeah, I've just painted it in different colors. I don't know why, but it's tremendously beautiful. I'm going to take you to the one moment where it was a thunderbolt. This one, basically. Where did it go? And yeah, there you have it. This is the moment I'll pause, and this is the moment I'm going to let you have a look at this beautiful position, beautiful move, Queen h5. Just killing it. This move just kills it. Beautiful. What to say about this game? It's one of the best games, and it's one of the flowing games of Alexander. You just sit back, you enjoy, and you see how the pieces flow in action. So, I love this game. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. So until next time.